annals of your mind. I am deep in the annals of your...
Hey everybody, welcome back to the Honey and Absinthe After Hours podcast. We are your hosts. I'm Vincent, background designer for Hollywood animation yet again.
And I'm Janet, the ex-Disney artist turned independent creator, and this is a podcast about all things art, business,
and whatever we feel like. Now today we're going to talk about why Hollywood is manipulating you with team sports and how it isn't working.
But before we get into it, make sure to like, subscribe, jiggle all my bells and buttons. Please and thank you.
So the Hollywood machine is in full force now that it is the summer movie season. They know you have very little money, so they are fighting tooth and nail for that precious, precious dollar, and it's looking intense. The discourse about these movies it's something else. It really is. I haven't seen the Hollywood machine heat up this hard
in a while.
In a long time.
Yeah.
It's kind of amazing.
So we're going to be talking about the Flash spoilers. If you don't want to hear Flash spoilers,
Oh, I mean, like, it's not like it matters. There's spoilers about it all over the internet.
Well, in case you haven't already been spoiled.
By
Twitter.
We watched the Flash movie, and we are going to give you our brutally honest opinion about it, which is kind of ridiculous because when you look on the internet, people either think it's the worst thing in the entire world, or it's the best thing in the world. Oh my god!
Yeah, and it kind of relates to the thesis of this podcast is the team sports thing that's happening with Hollywood right now to convince you to watch a movie that may not be all that great.
They want you to fight,
yes,
so they can obtain your dollar,
your money.
So, Janet, where should we start? Should we just start about kind of just yada-yadaing, paraphrasing the movie, pretending like you and I are outside of the Harkins or AMC theaters and we're just huddling together, going...
Yes, we will talk about our likes, our dislikes, including all spoilers, and then kind of... It's interesting to watch a movie, have our personal opinions, and then see the discourse online, and then come up with an interesting thesis on culture that's happening right now that you might be manipulated into participating in. Okay, so what did you like about the movie, Vincent?
I liked Michael Keaton. First of all, it's kind of cool to see the Batman back on screen. Michael Keaton does an excellent job at being the Caped Crusader, a very, very old school Caped Crusader, though I think he's only in the bat suit for the close-ups. I think most of it's CG. You know, him flying down the tunnel and beating up the Russians and flying and jumping off of his bat flying thing, beating the crap out of the people in the desert. That's not Michael Keaton. But when Michael Keaton actually gets to act, it's pretty cool. And I like the emotional points. The ending is pretty heartfelt. I think there's a lot of people on the internets going, oh my god, the ending made me cry, and like, I'm dead inside, so you can't really make me cry anymore. Very, very hard, but I can understand, and I really like that emotional point at the end. And Ezra Miller was fine. The most surprising thing for me is Ben Affleck. He's so chill in this movie, and he in the Zack Snyder ones, he's so roided out and so angry and so brooding that I'm like, man, this isn't fun to watch. But Ben Affleck was actually really enjoyable, kind of like a wise man senpai to Ezra Miller's Flash, Ezra Miller's Barry, kind of telling him maybe you shouldn't go out and, you know, do the Back to the Future thing, but, you know, I'm telling you as a friend. And then Ezra Miller's like, we should get lunch. And then Bruce is like, no. I mean, you know, some other time, I guess. Maybe. So, yeah, I think the fact that I watched this movie and I wasn't too bored, and though, like Across the Spider-Verse, it did take a little long. It didn't take as long for the movie to start, for Barry to choose to do the hero's journey thing, finally. So, overall, I thought it was a B movie, a B-ass movie. Not that not amazing like other people are saying it's not amazing. Oh my god, there are some people who are going like, third time, man, I'm going to watch this movie for a third time, and I'm like,
why?
That's I would watch Top Gun 3 times. I would watch Mad Max Fury Road 3 times, but this movie, I think once is enough. I think once is totally fine. But then to say it's the worst thing in the world, people are showboating how they're watching it through torrent websites and openly spoiling it, is a little egregious to me and a little disgusting. I feel like I don't mind shitting on movies because we all know the score as people who worked on entertainment. You're loved one day and you're hated another day. But like the vitriol for this property is kind of like, for this movie, is a little ridiculous. I'm a little kind of disgusted by everyone's discourse of going like, oh, we should ban it. We should like, I'm just like, this is a movie. This is a basic ass movie, no better or worse, pretty much on the same level as Guardians of the Galaxy and Across the Spider-Verse. It's a basic ass movie, and you're just fucking like trying to boycott this movie. It's ridiculous. You're spoiling it. I've never seen anything like this in forever, and like this movie has a lot of enemies, it looks like. Not only do you have the Marvel heads who like are just annoyed by the DC fandom and just have never played any kind of sport or anything, so then this is kind of their sports, so they have to go rah rah rah, I don't even know, what are the 49ers? Fuck the 49ers, that type of bullshit. And then they like spoil things and they talk shit, and I'm like, this is movies. And then the Flash people are like kind of overselling the movie. I'm like, oh my god, it's the best thing in the world. Oh my god, it's like a dream come true. I'm like, so yeah, that's my overall opinion. It's a B.
Right.
It's a B movie. Guys, relax. Lots of people worked really hard to not spoil this movie, and then like, unfortunately, it had that kind of PSA announcement of like, don't spoil the movie. This isn't like Hitchcock times anymore, where Hitchcock is like, don't spoil Psycho. This is like the internet age. So, you know, there's a thing called the Streisand effect. So people are going to do the opposite of what you want to do. So, but you know, it's neither here nor there, because like what's really going on is that the studios don't give a shit whether you're talking good about it or not, whether you're shitting on the babies in the microwave or the funny expressions people are doing mid-CG, or the director's comments about how all of this bad CG is on purpose because this is kind of how we see Barry Allen's perspective through the world. It's neither here nor there, because as long as they get attention from you, they've won.
Yes.
You know, and like, you know, if you're the type of asshole who likes to like spoil the movie or stream it and show the babies in the microwave, if I didn't give a shit about this movie and I saw the babies in the microwave, I would overtly go out to see this movie to see what the fuck was that about.
Yeah, just to
what
be
the fuck
part
was that
of the
about?
conversation.
So I think if you are willingly trying to destroy this movie, you are a fucking puppet. You have no soul, and you're being used by a marketing team.
Yes. For me, I like Ben Affleck, which is I actually hate Ben Affleck as Batman, but his Batman in this movie is actually more Batman to me than his own Batman movies. I thought, like, my god, his scenes as Batman was so much more exciting than any of the scenes with Flash.
Yeah.
Fighting and whatever. It was like, whoa.
Yeah,
it's
I think the
good.
Flash is kind of the worst part of the movie.
Yeah, which is weird.
Yeah.
I liked him. It's so weird to see him like not brooding. I like his interactions with Ezra Miller's Flash. I liked Ezra and Ezra interacting together. I find young Barry kind of annoying, but I do find like the character moments in this movie are my favorite parts. I don't like the action set pieces all that much. I don't really like the main storyline all that much because I find it really predictable. I appreciate that this movie has an ending. Unlike Across Spider-Verse. And even though this movie is very, very predictable, I appreciate it for having a clear 3-act structure.
It does the thing. It does the Hollywood thing.
Yes.
How does a beginning, middle, end? Like we're in the campfire storytelling thing, you know?
Exactly.
It'd suck to be like, boy, Miles confronts evil Miles, and he needs to fight the Spot, and he needs to fight the Spider-Man who hates him. Wait until you come to camp next year to like figure out what happens next.
Something that I really disliked about this movie is that when I say it's predictable, it's basically Back to the Future wearing the skin suit of Flash.
Just like how Black Adam was wearing the skin suit of Terminator 2.
Yes. Yeah, it's odd that DC keeps doing this.
Yes, I think they need to stop doing that.
Yes. It feels very paint by numbers. It's, if you are a big fan of Back to the Future, if you watched it recently, and this movie literally references Back to the Future because this is technically a time travel movie, it does everything you think it does. Barry does literally everything you think he does.
Are there paradoxes? Is there lightning involved? Is there, just awkward moments with yourself and not meeting yourself or not messing with the space-time continuum?
Learning that you maybe never should have changed the timeline to begin with, but then you kind of sort of do, and then it kind of sort of... It's just so... I was not surprised in the slightest about the way this movie turned out at all. And it has nothing to do with the huge amount of spoilers that are online that came out right when the movie got released. And I'm like, whoa, who's like sabotaging this movie?
Never seen anything
and
like it.
And why are they doing it?
The culprits are either the Marvel dorks or the Snyderverse dorks.
Who are petty.
But
regardless, I don't think the spoilers actually colored the predictable. It's not like I predicted the movie because I saw the spoilers. The spoilers have nothing to do. So the spoilers are member-berry spoilers.
Yeah. Remember when this person didn't get casted as Superman? Remember? Well, this is what they look like in CG. Remember?
Oh, God. So... what did you think about the member berry?
The member berries were member berries. I think my favorite member berry is the last member berry. Thought it was classy. I was like, hey, George Clooney. He has hair and a beard. Very good looking Bruce Wayne. I did not like his ER buzz cut shit. It's like he was doing it midway from another project. But that's the only member berry I like. The Christopher Reeves one was gross. Seeing the old school Superman, the old school Flash, kind of gross. It's gross in the way that it wasn't a real human being standing
it looked
there.
Mid-Journey and Gen 2.
It looked like AI art, man. It looked like Gen 2 shit. Just seeing Nicolas Cage. It's kind of amazing because Nicolas Cage is actually pretty emotive with his face a lot of the time. Yes. And it's kind of weird to see him stone-faced in the CG Gen 2 looking ass thing. Mm. So a lot of the cameos are inconsequential, and the ones that are obvious, like Michael Keaton and Superwoman, Supergirl, whichever one, I don't know. I don't know comics, man. I watch manga. I read manga and I watch anime. That stuff is already spoiled in the trailer. So literally nothing about the member stuff I thought was very amusing. I thought kind of the time we're in this alternate timeline, so Eric Stoltz is Marty McFly. That was kind of cute as a fan of movies. Janet thinks that shit's cringe, but I'm just like, hey, a little trivia for the movie people, It's not that bad. But yeah, it's an aesthetic. It's very much ado about nothing. Very similar to the Spider-Verse cameos and things. That I was just like, this doesn't mean anything. This has nothing to do. Oh, remember Spider-Man with the hoodie and he's brooding, and remember Prowler, but this time Childish Gambino live action. Remember the convenience store. It's like, I'm kind of sick of this memberberry shit, and I just don't understand, like, the being the kind of person that says this movie, whether it be The Flash or Across the Spider-Verse, is like amazing, is kind of like, what you like this? You like kind of going, remember when I was young and these things came out? I'm not into it. I'm not into any of the cameos. And like, I think the best multiverse movie is No Way Home, because the multiverse and the cameos and the people they brought back was very important to the plot. Like just having Michael Keaton and Supergirl, it's sort of like, well, yeah, it's like having a different Batman and a different Superman or a different Kryptonian. It's like the same shit. Like, it's not actually, we're not actually changing that much. The movie, even though it paints itself as like a multiverse movie, it's actually just simply more of just like a simple time travel movie. Mm-hmm. They talk big game about like, oh, this is what happens when you move sideways through times like spaghetti. I'm just like, no, we're just going forwards and backwards.
Yes.
Really, actually.
And you just used it as an excuse to like incorporate other characters from other movies in the franchise.
Right. So the memberberry stuff, not my favorite stuff.
Inconsequential. For me, as a normie,
I like seeing George Clooney. He's like he was like Danny Ocean.
Oh God.
Bruce Wayne. What a guy, man. He's turning into our Cary Grant, Janet. He's so handsome. He's getting so handsome.
You are more like well versed in the, I guess, film history of comic book films. You're not like a comic book aficionado, and I'm just a normie. I really don't care about the old Warner Brothers franchise Batman movies and stuff, and I don't. So like,
you don't care about Christopher Reeve's Batman?
No.
You know, Tim Burton almost had Nicolas Cage be a long-haired Superman.
So like, it didn't make me feel anything. I just was like, oh, cool, that looks ugly. And so like, let's talk about like the VFX looks so bad in this movie, but at the same, like, so there are people who are saying like, oh my god, it looks so bad, the babies and the fight scene at the end and the memberberry CG, all these people, and then like the director was quoted in an article saying that it's totally on purpose because that's in Flash's perspective and everyone's warped and it's ugly on purpose. And I was like, are you really gonna give like the art school excuse for the reason why the VFX looks awful? It's a bunch of bullshit. A lot of things recently have been like that. Like Fast X was really bad in terms of CG. And I would say a lot of recent CG live action movies have been really, really bad. I don't know why that is, because we saw like a old clip of the original Transformers movie today, and it actually looked really good.
Yeah, it holds up, and it's kind of amazing for us. We wanted to review Beast Wars, but we were like, no, I'm not even gonna waste our time. Let's just like not do a podcast, because like this, I will wait until The Flash and Elemental and all these movies come out. I don't even want to, but it's kind of amazing to see that freeway scene where Optimus is fighting the dude and the bad guy crashes into the bus. That still looks so good. And I don't know, I think like the VFX stuff is just getting worse and worse. I didn't feel like it was getting worse. I just thought like, oh, it was kind of always bad, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But then like, no, I was looking back and I was like, wait, no, like Michael Bay's first Transformers looks better than like
the Beast Wars.
Beast Wars looks better than The Flash, looks better than whenever Guardians isn't practical, you know? Mm-hmm. And it's kind of shocking that why are we regressing? Are studios just paying less and less money to VFX artists? What's going on here?
Yeah, it's odd. And like, yeah, the whole article thing was such. I'm so aware now of what's happening in the Hollywood machine. Like, he doesn't mean it. He knows he can just say whatever bullshit, and then the trades are gonna write some bullshit because it's a good story, and then people are gonna argue about it on Twitter, and then
people are gonna watch it.
Yeah.
It's like, this is the point. None of the controversy is real, and if you're participating, you're just you're getting more people to watch the movie. You're getting more ass in seats for the studio.
Yes. And I had less of a problem with the antagonist of this movie, but you had a really big problem.
I had a big problem because it's Zod.
Yeah.
Again. He's just doing the thing. We're doing the Back to the Future 2 thing when we're like entering a movie that we've seen before, but with different context because there's different characters or the situation's different. But like Zod's literally going like, I'm terraforming the planet, just like Man of Steel, and that like until like, the last 15 minutes of the movie, Zod is our antagonist. And Barry is kind of his own antagonist too. But like, it's kind of not fun, at least for me, to kind of just retread the same thing over and over again of like, oh, we're fighting Zod again, and Michael Shannon phoning it in for that paycheck, man. Michael Shannon going like, what? You want me to play this guy again? What? Okay. like it's kind of amazing how like in the original Man of Steel it looked like he was phoning it in, and now he looks like I'm phoning this shit in, man. Love Michael Shannon, great actor, but like he did not look like he was having a good time playing Zod again. So that's a little disappointing. And like, though we shit on the VFX, I think you and I feel like VFX doesn't matter. Whether you think that Across the Spider-Verse is amazing, whether you think The Flash looks like shit, I think I care about the bones. Is there a beginning, middle, end? Is there a story? Are there characters that do things and grow by the end of the story? But my main problem is like, Barry's his own villain, which is fine. I mean, it's literal. I'm not talking about like just like, oh, Barry kind of trips himself up. He's like literally his own villain. Yeah. And it's kind of, we're back to doing the Zod stuff again, but this time it's Supergirl. And it's just like, man, you out of all the things that you could pull in the multiverse, is Zod again? Like, we're doing the Zod thing again? I mean, like, I guess maybe we had like a different Lex Luthor. That'd be pretty sick. Like, maybe Brainiac. I don't know. Like Zod again? There's Zod from Christopher Reeve's Superman. There's Zod from Man of Steel. Now we're doing Zod again.
Oh, God.
I mean, I guess like there's more Zod at this point than there is Lex Luthor. It's kind of amazing.
Like I said, I think because I appreciate the character moments at the beginning, and it's like, just because it's predictable and kind of boring for me, I understand, and like. Yeah, like you said, the VFX to me, I don't care anymore. Like, I understand that these movies are, like, unfinished.
They like just equate it to video games. It's the same thing. They put them out half-baked, and they hope to God that you don't notice.
Yes. And they don't really care. I think you can tell when a studio actually cares about a movie and when they don't. And what's interesting is, like, the Hollywood hype machine works overtime when they don't care. Yeah. But when it's actually a good movie, they know they don't have to do that. Because word of mouth will be naturally there. They don't have to make up... They literally are making up stories just to keep it in the zeitgeist, get people talking about it. So like Black Adam didn't look finished, this doesn't look finished, and I think they're just trying to make their money back as best as they can. And the nice thing about this movie compared to like Black Adam and other movies is like it at the very least has a half decent story. A predictable one if you've watched movies, as many movies as we have, but a decent put together story nonetheless. So like for people who probably don't watch movies other than superhero movies, they apparently, I don't know if they're lying or not, they're watching it 3 times in the theaters, because like, hey, I'm judging you, but like whatever, you can have your, this is that movie for you, I guess. whatever. So like, if I were to give it a score, I would give it like a B as well. It's actually like on the same level, in my opinion, as like Spider-Verse. It's more boring and less beautiful, I guess.
Why are we giving it a whole half grade up?
Because it has an ending.
Oh, right. That's
It's
right.
just so
I forget
unforgivable for me that an animated movie doesn't have an ending. Because you animated it. Like, that took
like,
years.
that
You had time to think about it.
So much effort for what?
Like 4 years in the making. It's so
wait.
crazy.
Let's finish the rest of the movie. Let's finish the rest of the movie, and then we'll tell you what happened to Miles. Just wait. Just hold your breath. Everything will be fine. Okay, so to the overall point, we kind of hinted at it with like people kind of just being a part of the machine without actually knowing by shitting on the movie or whatever. Why is Hollywood manipulating you? And like what do you have to say about art and business and the intersection between?
Well, I think right now the studios are trying to make the most of what they have currently, which I'm pretty sure they don't actually believe in, but they have to pretend like they believe in. They know that the movies that they have right now aren't going to resonate with everyone. So I think if you look at like the general reception of this movie online, there are clearly the people who really love it, and I think they're the DC fanboys. I think you said you saw Greg Miller, who's like huge Batman fan.
There's no one bigger into DC than Greg Miller.
He was like, I loved it so much.
And they're just like, that's kind of, if I were making a Flash movie, isn't that my goal?
Yeah, it's
isn't
for someone like that.
Someone who loves the stuff.
Yeah.
And if they're happy, haven't I accomplished my goal? You know?
And so, like, as cringy and, like, they're wearing rose-colored glasses, as, like, the fact that they're kind of biased and they can't think straight, I kind of empathize and I feel for them. I go, like, yeah, you can love the movie if you want. I don't agree, but like it's for you. It's not for me. But then there's like a whole group of people who are like hating on this movie so like viciously. And like we said, like we give this movie like a B. Like it's for a blockbuster movie, it does what it's supposed to do, but it's kind of boring, so it's like it's a very movie. I don't feel I'm not super excited and I don't hate it, and it's weird actually for me to watch this movie and then watch people like viscerally
right
hate it.
Hate isn't a word that I could ever like make myself feel for this movie, and love isn't a feeling I would feel for it either. It
just is.
You and I are just at this point like, let's just get to Barbie and Oppenheimer. Let's just what we have like 5 more weeks to Barbie and Oppenheimer. Oh my god, like that's kind of how I am. And like this is sort of like these are all like trailers or hors d'oeuvres right before the main course to me, which is Barbie and Oppenheimer.
It's your summer blockbuster. What do you expect? Why are you like so angry over the stupid thing? And so like I look at these people and I think like they're Marvel fanboys. I think they're playing this team sport. Like it's almost like they're getting vengeance for Ant-Man or something.
Yeah, Ant-Man got pretty trashed. I mean, like, it's not like the DC fanboys spoiled like over like they showed screen caps, but they didn't like overtly spoil things from Ant-Man, and it's just like it makes me kind of lose respect for the Marvel community a lot.
They're vicious.
They're vicious, and it makes me feel really bad for the DC people, because they're just, to me, I've been really looking into this on the online sphere. Like the DC people are just really happy to have their thing happen, you know. And to see, you know, Michael Keaton, to see the things that, like, the memberberry stuff, they like that stuff. Just like how you Gen Zers liked seeing Tom Holland with all the other Spider-Men and wishing you had brothers like that. Like that's kind of, it's kind of like it's like, let them have their thing. And the fact that, like, the Marvel community just being, like, just the worst pricks in the fucking world is kind of insane. It's kind of, it's something else. And it makes me, like, I'm getting so tired of this. I'm getting so tired of of comic book movies and stuff. And you told me like there's like this quote that James Gunn said that like, you know, like it doesn't matter which team you're on, and like we all help each other. I think the only thing you're helping is me getting tired of this genre. I think I think the only thing that this team sport bullshit is helping is to make this die faster. And I think my wish, it's a really hopeful wish for the comic book genre, which is like very, very close. Like it seems like it's almost dead. Like God willing, we're not I'm telling you, when the next 2 Avengers movie don't make money, that's when they're gonna stop. But like I keep telling you that, like, you know, now that we know, don't fucking lie to me, studios, that like you can kind of see like this comic book shit is going, like, it has jumped the goddamn shark. Can we like say goodbye to it properly? Let's be respectful to like to the properties and to the fans, and to like do this thing justice, so that we could just move on, making whatever kind of era, move into the next era of cinema. That would be really nice. But no, I think like this thing is hell-bent. This comic book thing is hell-bent on becoming, like, if things are toxic now with this Flash stuff, imagine down the line, man. It's just going to get worse and worse. Like, this is kind of the most, like, I can't believe I'm saying, like, I don't think the Marvel DC stuff was ever toxic. Yeah, they would be like, oh yeah, fuck you. Like, I love Xbox. I love PlayStation. Like, it was like, you know, there's like a friendly rivalry to it, but like you're spoiling the movie. You're overtly torrenting the movie. It's like the creators of The Flash went to your home and killed your dog, and you're like destroying this man. I'm just like, does this movie deserve that much hate? Like, I don't understand it. So I mean, like, fine. Like, you want to fucking get people all riled up and stuff. We used to really be really into the politics stuff. People are burnt the fuck out from politics and talking about that bullshit, the culture war bullshit. You're gonna fucking burn out comic book people really fast.
Yeah.
Really, really fast. So, like, fine, good luck. I'm rooting. I actually am rooting for you guys to like finish Spider-Man well, to kind of like show us a really good Superman movie. Like, that would be really nice. And to see the X-Men. That would be pretty nice. But like at this point, guys, like, I'm getting fucking fed up with all this fighting, and it's getting intense. Yeah. It's getting me to not want to watch these movies at all.
It's not fun anymore. And you know, so I have a suspicion that this is all hype, because of kind of like what James Gunn said about how, you know, these things help each other. And Hollywood understands that any publicity is good publicity, because it just means you're going to talk about it. And people who are curious are going to watch it. That's what they want. And what's interesting is, I don't know what the numbers are going to look like this box office weekend, but it's starting to seem like it's going to be kind of like do a little bit better than Ant-Man, but not like massive amount, like definitely not like $1 billion. Which is what these superhero movies used to do. And I was thinking about that idea of like, well, the Marvel, and if one movie does well, it kind of makes the other movie do well, and it made me wonder about all this fighting. It really, it's not a movie that lasted in my memory very long. I kind of forgot about it, or wanted to forget about it after I watched it. And I think I have this sneaking suspicion that like the spoilers and the variety articles, it truly seems like it's the Hollywood machine trying to get you to fight so that like more people will watch it. And I was thinking about like, that's not gonna work. Because, like, no one actually cares about whatever's happening on Twitter. I think Hollywood thinks people do, and I think journalists think people do, and I think directors and writers, because it's their favorite pastime to be on Twitter. They think people like Twitter actually matters, but when we went in to see Flash, the amount of people going to watch it, it was a lot of people.
Sizable.
Yeah.
We saw The Flash on its first showing here in our small town on the Thursday, and there was as big of a group as Guardians. So I don't know. We'll see. Maybe they're the diehards or whatever, but like I don't think this movie is going to flop as much as the haters want it to. Yeah, I whatever is happening, it's working. And like, you know, participating in the hate is kind of working for the movie.
Yes, as much as like I don't know if the people putting out the spoilers are trying to help or hurt it, because I think it's helping.
Yeah, I think so too.
And I also thought, like, you know, I don't think this movie is going to do well because I don't resonate with it. And, like, I'm just an average movie goer for this franchise. And, like, I'm a millennial who didn't really grow up with these comic books. This is like specifically for the Greg Millers, Gen Xers of the world. And this
the Ninja Turtle people.
Yeah. I don't really see why Gen Z would really connect with this movie because Ezra Miller's too old. And
they don't know who Michael Keaton Batman is.
No, yeah, they don't care. I think they're watching this movie because it's their summer and they have nothing better to do. They want to hang out and be mindlessly entertained with their friends. But, like, I don't think it's going to do No Way Home numbers, specifically because I think No Way Home brings people together rather than encourages people to fight. I think this is a Gen Xer movie, and no one but the Gen Xers is going to appreciate it. And I think Spider-Verse is a Gen Z movie, and I think a lot of millennials and Gen Xers probably just can't relate to Spider-Verse. And I think that's why both movies aren't performing the way Hollywood actually wants them to do.
What you want is No Way Home, where you get the Zoomers with the Tom Holland, you get the Us's with the Andrew Garfield, and then you get the almost kind of Xers with the Tobey Maguire.
Yeah,
so you get everybody. And then it's internationally great because it's Marvel, it's Spider-Man, everyone likes Spider-Man. I think that's kind of the point, and it's really annoying to watch a movie just go aim for like one demographic. Which is like, oh, we're going to do like Across the Spider-Verse is for the Zoomers, and The Flash is for the Gen Xers. And then us millennials are twiddling our thumbs. We're like, man, when's Barbie coming?
I think Hollywood, they've realized. I think they're smart and they realize that if we've made these movies that are hyper focused on like a very niche demographic of people, then the only way we can drum up traffic is by doing the Hollywood hype machine by creating controversy so that you can go watch it. But like, I think what you want is something like Super Mario Brothers. Like, the reason why it did well, and I don't think anyone expected it to do well, is because Gen Z and millennials and Xers, like everyone who's played Super Mario was into it. It like brought people together. So it's like the strategy of like, let them fight versus let's bring people together and enjoy something all together. I think Top Gun accidentally did it. Like, I don't think Gen Z actually cared, but I think millennials and Xers and
like,
boomers.
Volleyball, let's go! And then the Zoomers were just like, oh, it's kind of like an anime.
Yeah, they like got FOMO'd into it.
And then they're like, oh, I love Rooster. And you see OVAs of Rooster and all this shit.
So I think that's my point. If I were to give Hollywood advice, is to maybe not try to get people to fight because it's fatiguing, and I don't think people actually care. I think you did a bad job in making a movie for a very small demographic, and I think it's really Machiavellian to try to make people fight like this, and I don't really think it's working because there's only so much Twitter drama you can drum up, and like, how many people are like, Gen Z isn't even on Twitter. Like, they're on TikTok and YouTube.
You know what movie is doing absolutely astronomically great on TikTok? Barbie.
Yeah, on accident. Yeah, like
just showing you a different side of the social media universe.
Yeah,
people actually are getting super hyped about Barbie in TikTok. Meanwhile, all you dorks on Twitter are fighting about
nonsense,
about Marvel versus DC nonsense.
Yeah, and no one actually cares, and it's not helping. Yeah, that's the point of this podcast. Hollywood, take our advice or not, and just keep upsetting us.
Yeah.
If you like this episode, like, subscribe, jingle all our bells and buttons. Check out these episodes over here to watch all our other episodes, and we'll see you next time.